So this week I'm enjoying the R.I.H bicycle, but there's a, whoops, damn gravity. There's a weird clicking sound coming from the right side of the bicycle, and it feels like it's going away when I lift my right foot. So I'm hoping it's something inside the right hand, the right foot pedal. Not sure if it is, but we'll see. I'll let the oil drain through the pedal to the other side, to the other bearings, and then I will take the bike out again for another test ride. And I guess this is just a quick update on the R.I.H bicycle. There's always a weird noise coming from somewhere. They can be hard to pinpoint. This, by the way, is a nice type of pedal with these plastic caps, and the bearings on the underside are actually sealed. But you got to be careful with this plastic piece, because it can break rather easy when you're damn gravity. When you're screwing this in, if those damn threads will ever start. And doing this on camera totally sucks. I could do another take, but yeah, another take is a bit fake. Huh. Yeah. It sounded a bit crunchy. And of course I got confused by left and right hand thread, as so often. Looks like the oil already got to the underside through this rubber bearing. Well, better too much than too little. So it's a few hours later, and I actually took a test ride with some other pedals, and the ticking noise is gone. So it definitely came from this pedal, and it does feel a bit stiff even after all of that oil. This one is fine, but there's a stiff point in this pedal, and I wasn't expecting the noise to come from the pedal, because well, a dry and crunching sound is something you would expect, not a short little tick. I guess I learned something. So this here is the right side pedal, the one that was making that clicking noise, and it is still a bit stiff and dry, even though I put on plenty of oil. And now the other side. I guess that is better. Now, because I want to keep the bicycle original, I'm going to try and see if I can rebuild this right side pedal. I actually broke this plastic cap a little bit when I reinstalled it. I don't think you can see this on camera, but there are some breaks in here. in multiple locations. Okay, now I need to take this off. It looks smaller than 13 millimeters. This is 12. Might be the right size. And of course 13 is AWOL. I'll be right back. Yeah, 13 is way too big. Now how do I keep this thing from spinning? I think I need a crank arm. And of course a crank arm is not needed. I just relocated the pedal in the vise. Now I'm not sure what this is, what I'm looking at. There's a little notch in the axle, if you can call it an axle, and this nut looks, well, I think it's two pieces. There's a nut and another piece underneath. Let's see what happens when I try to unscrew this. Oh, that was easier than I expected. Rather oily. A thin nut. And now this other piece can probably come out. Looks like a normal washer. No, it's a washer with a what you call that? A keeper. It's similar to what you will find in a headset of a bicycle. And there is a second nut underneath, even, I think it's even thinner. And well, I cannot use a spanner on that, and I doubt that a socket would fit. But it felt like it was rather loose, so I can spin it off with this pointy thing. And of course the trick here is to keep the balls from escaping, because well, they want to escape all the time, and I know because I usually find them in my clocks. Oh, this looks like a cone, something you would find in a hop. Okay, there's a whole bunch of balls there. I think I should see if I can find my magnet to fish them out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A lot. And they are rather small. But all of them are still silvery colored. So that's good. Of course they will have plenty of time to escape before I put this thing back together. Alright, how do I get the axle out without the balls escaping? I think I should do this on the bench. As you can see, I placed a rack on the bench, and here are the balls that I already took out. And now I'm going to get the pedal without hopefully giving the other balls the opportunity to escape. Here's the pedal, and I didn't see any balls escape Is it in frame? I guess not. I used plenty of oil. No rusty balls. And at first glance this ball race also still looks fine, although there is a lot of oil and maybe some debris. This ball race might be a bit dirty, but I was kinda expecting to find some rust, but nothing. So I will clean this out and then I will put everything back together. It really looks okay. So here's a look at the ball race. There's some dirt, and here's the other side. It doesn't look bad. And here's another look after I wiped off all of the oil, and I don't see anything wrong with these. So I'm going to reassemble everything, hopefully without losing any balls. As you can see, I use some grease as a glue to hold the ball bearings in place, and now I can stick the axle back in, flip the pedal, and repeat the same procedure on the other side. And later I will drop in some oil to thin the grease a bit, because recently I've learned that grease really isn't the best thing in bearings, especially on a Sturmey Archer hub. Alright, I'll get this back together and then we can test. So I got all the balls back in and I threaded on this cone, but when I'm spinning it, I'm not all that impressed. If I spin it this way, the cone gets locked. If I spin it that way, the cone will get unlocked, of course. But now, how do I hold the cone in place when I'm threading on the lock nut? I guess this keeper washer should help with it. Some play will be good. I definitely don't want to set them too tight. And before I install the lock washer, I'm putting in some oil. A lot of oil apparently. But that's good rust prevention. I think this is okay. So let's install the lock nut. It's probably too tight. Now I'm going to try and see if I can turn the cone just a little bit. And it is difficult. Feels like there is some play, so that should be good. Well, it's not perfect, but it is definitely better than how it was before I started this. And now I should put on the ear cap, and this time I will spin the cap in the right direction. No tighter than that, because it is already cracked. And now I should also do the same thing to the other pedal. But I'm not going to film all that because the camera is somewhat in my way. So I got the other pedal apart, and this one was still spinning good, but I can feel there's some debris on the axle, some sand. It probably, well, I know it wasn't a problem yet, but well, it does make me feel good that I'm also going the extra mile to clean this one as well. Apparently it's not completely for nothing. So there you have it, both pedals rebuilt and ready for my next test ride on the R.I.H bicycle. And now the R.I.H bicycle gets to keep its original pedals, and that's better than those aftermarket BBB pedals that, by the way, were perfectly fine. For a while one of these little ball bearings did manage to escape for a bit, but with the help of my trusty little flashlight I was able to find it again. And it's probably a good thing they weren't rusty, otherwise it would have been difficult to find them again in this dark room. I actually did manage to find a few other ball bearings, and I will show you those later. Well, if you give me a thumbs up, I'll make another one of these little shit shows. Totally useless, of course. So you're looking at the underside of my clogs, and in all honesty, I did find these ball bearings a couple of days ago, but they were in these spots, but I was not able to reinsert them, and I did have to use this pocket knife to pry them out. There's one, and there's the other, and those were the actual ball bearings that I found. I kept them in the pocket of my overalls. I guess it's a good thing I wasn't traveling anywhere with a plane, because with these metal pieces embedded in my clogs, I definitely wouldn't have gotten through the metal detector. I guess I thought this was somewhat of a funny story. Alright, I'll better put these back on.